to get my notes to get where I can see them in the screen and it's not moving. There we go. Oh, maybe not. Huh. What the heck? All right, well. All right, well, we'll go ahead and get started. Oh, 1 second, I'm sorry, hang on a second. I'm having computer issues here real quick. What? All right, I think we got something here. All right, did you already hit record? Let me see, you did. Okay, awesome. Well, good evening, everyone. Just as a timestamp, this is Sunday, September 8th. And we're excited to have on the call tonight, we're going to be sharing some nuggets. We just got back from our Knoxville Impact Training. It's the first weekend. There are, I think, 5 trainings in general, impact trainings in different cities. And so we are going to be listening and hearing from some of the attendees tonight. And real quick, I just wanted a couple announcements real quick. I just wanted to mention that this Tuesday, Megan Rieken is going to be sharing the 30 Days to Healthy Living in our virtual live group, our Life by Design virtual. And then also on Wednesday, you guys mark your calendars. We are going to be doing an Elevate to Area Manager training, and that's going to be recorded. So it's important to put that on there so you guys can plug in and hear that. It's going to be about an hour long, so you'll find more details in the posts in the Life by Design group. And then lastly, just a quick reminder that in 2 weeks from tonight is Fallon Cruz's car Benz Bash. And so you guys absolutely want to plug into that. You want to be getting your ticket and then tickets for your guest. This is the best way to share Arbonne with friends, family, prospects, and to just show them, because it's really a great way to see the culture of Arbonne, see how we kind of operate and how we gift people, and they will have the opportunity to hear the business opportunity from one of the leaders there. It will be either Missy, myself, or Lisa Voorhees. So just really exciting, but it's important. It's creeping up. It'll be here before we know it, and it's just a great way to be able to do that. And so if you guys are within, a couple hours driving distance, it's definitely worthwhile to, pile your friends into a car and attend that night. So, all right, so on to the fun stuff. So again, we're going to be hearing from some takeaways and some nuggets from some of our first-time attendees. And so tonight we're going to be hearing from Olivia Tyre, Kirsten Webb, Amy Ellison, and Christy Smith, and Kimberly Hare. So these are all first-time attendee gals. It's always fun to hear, from their perspective. And I will tell you, you'll hear nuggets, and that was their takeaways and things that impacted them. And it may be meaningful to you as well, but I love that over the years, we hear many things over and over. And sometimes you just hear it in a different light. And sometimes it's just your time to hear that specific nugget. And so lean into it and take notes, and I'm excited to open that up. So Olivia, I assume you're on here somewhere, and whenever you're ready, let me see if I can find you on here. Go ahead and just unmute yourself and take it away. I'm not sure she's on here yet. I know she was in small group tonight. I'm trying to scroll to see if I can find her. She was going to have to sneak away from small group to share with us. All right, I don't see her yet. So Kirsten, if you're ready, if you want to go ahead and start, and then when she hops on, she can go after you.
Hello, my name is Kirsten Webb. I'm a district manager on Edie's team. Peyton Scheibner said, "Don't think when you sponsor someone you're good." That hit me hard because when I promoted to district manager, I had a great business partner that helped me promote. And I was like, yeah, let's go. But the next couple months I was so nervous that I didn't make my 2,500 QB to keep district manager. I need to start to get more business partners and encourage them to do their best and not get mad that they're not doing a lot because stuff can come up and mess up with our businesses. I need to be grateful for the people that are doing their best on my team and keep encouraging them and loving on them. We build team, but we don't stop and try to manage them. We need to keep adding to the team.
That's so true, Kirsten. You hit the nail on the head with that one. So yeah, thank you so much for sharing that. I just got a message from Olivia. Oh, she's trying to hop back on.
I'm back.
Yay. Okay.
As soon as you said that, I got a phone call and it like completely cut me out of the Zoom and I was like, no.
No worries. No worries. Go ahead and whenever you're ready.
Some of the takeaways I took was learn to walk slowly through the crowd and not try to rush to the top just because other people's journey is fast doesn't mean yours has to be. And then also learn to put margins in your life, set out time instead of saying you don't have enough hours in the day. And one more is, where did it go? When you learn how to do life in Arbonne, you will be successful. And when you build momentum, keep it. That's the cue that I got. But
Yes, I think I wrote that one down too, to walk slowly through the crowd. It is, we can kind of get our blinders on and just be running through. And there's just there's just people around us all, and taking that time to really get to know people and build that relationship. And that's kind of how I interpreted that. I assume you did the same thing of just kind of slowing down with life. And we've said this too. It's just looking up from your phone. Sometimes we're so focused on working, but we just forget that there's people standing. There's people in doctor's office sitting next to us, or, as you're waiting in line, like I used to just sit in the car rider line. Sometimes you can go inside and wait in the lobby with all the other parents, and they're just standing there and just, picking up a conversation. So yeah, that was a really good one. Yeah, thanks for sharing that. All right, let's see if Amy, if you are ready and you want to unmute.
Hi guys. My thing was more of a personal realization, little confession session. I am naturally an introvert and a perfectionist, which is an awesome combo, guys, seriously. It's a mess, and it's really hard for me to let people in and really see me for the core of who I am, and to like peel back those layers and just be vulnerable. And one of the things that really stood out to me, one of the trainers said it, but Laura, you said it first, was that was know me, like me, trust me. And for a couple months now, I've known my circle of influence has been really small, and it really like connected the dots as to why that really is. And like the nuts and bolts of the business are there, and they're great in the daily dues, but without transparency and relationship, they don't really go the extra distance in the full way that they're supposed to go. And a very good friend of mine, like years ago, one of my best friends said this, and it's really stuck with me, is that people don't care how much you know unless they know how much you care. And it really just kind of like encouraged me to get out of my box and go do the things that scare me and that I'm not comfortable with, like this, because this like seriously terrifies me. It makes me want to throw up. But just to get out there and to let people really know me and see me and be able to help people through that.
Yep, that is so true. And that is, and that was not originally my phrase, but that was one that I heard too that really stuck with me. And it's so true. You can, and some people, stats works. And sometimes, for me, I tend to be the person that I love stats, but that doesn't always work for people. And so having that challenge of connecting with people, and that's kind of where that trust has to come from. I agree 100%, because like I know what I know about Arbonne and what it's all about, but people that don't know me well or don't know me at all, they don't know if I'm trustworthy. And it's, you know, it's kind of really being vulnerable on their part. So sometimes even just opening up to them and showing that side that's sometimes hard to show if you're an introvert. And what I love about Impact too is you see all ends of the spectrum. This is the first Impact that I've seen all ends. Like we've had Eunice Ray in her 70s and Peyton Scheibner, who started when she was 18. And you see the super extrovert and talkative, and then you see the really quiet, you know, the quiet leader. And having those perspectives, it fits everyone. And that's the best part about Arbonne, is that everyone fits, and everyone, this works for everyone, and you can make it work. And so you as an introvert and a perfectionist, it's going to work awesome. And it's just learning the right things and how that works with you. So very cool. Thanks for sharing, Amy. I know that was a big deal. All right. I have to keep going back to my list. And let's see, is Christy on? I think I saw her. Christy, if you're ready, go ahead and.
Here.
Yay, there you are.
Yay. Thanks, girls, for sharing. I have like 16 pages of notes, so I don't even know really where to start. And then I thought, well, I'll just write down the nuggets. And then I wrote a whole new page of notes. So there were so many. It was just awesome, and so many takeaways from the little fun, like one-liners that a lot of people gave, like we're going away from brick and mortar to click and order. And I told that to one of my girls at a cookout tonight, and she's like, oh, I like that. And I was like, well, I mean, it's true. But I'm kind of like Amy, and I'm a perfectionist. I don't like to make mistakes, and I like to know everything before jumping in. So, you know, it's had its challenges, and hearing all the stories and all of the incredible overcoming moments in the lives of every single person that shared was so amazing. And just Amy sharing about the personal growth right then and there in one Impact setting, you know, and how that's what I signed up for. Like, I want to grow. I don't want to just be the same in 5 years. You know, I want to be growing as a person, as a believer, as a, you know, just all of the things. So back to my notes. Daily activity, a lot of my more practical things, like, you know, just doing daily activity, doing one thing every day for my business, making one phone call, making one connection, reaching out. And actually the very first line that whoever came out and opened for us, Shelly Nelson, one of the very first things she said was funny because she kind of flippantly said it like, you know, we all know schedule, sell, sponsor, stay connected, self-develop, serve, or something like that. And I was like, oh, no, I didn't know that because I'm new. And that was amazing. And somebody else went back to it and repeated it, and they actually broke it down. They were like, start a conversation, you know, like schedule. And then they talked about sell, and and I was like, okay, these are great practical things that I can lean into for the daily activity. Like, have I done this? Or how about in this area? And then one of the biggest things, and then I'll stop because I know you have more people on your list. Missy talked about leading with love, and she just said it in here, you know, we get paid to build relationships with people. And I mean, I'm not an introvert, as most of y'all probably saw on the trip. I like to talk to everybody, and hi, Kirsten, we match. And I love that because that's who I want to be, and reach out and encourage others to step into their full potential. And how Missy also said, you know, you're uniquely you, and find your passion and then step into your full potential, because only you have the connections and relationships that you have. And how can, you know, someone else maybe might miss their opportunity because you're not believing in yourself and doing what you're called and equipped to do. So I can keep going, but that's a lot.
Yeah, that's very cool. Yeah, and I think that was, as I just typed in there, I loved seeing common themes. And I love even hearing sometimes a nugget, like I would hear it and someone else would hear it, but you hear it differently. And so what spoke to you, and I too, I will tell you, even after almost 4 years, when she went through that SSSS, I was like, write them all down, because you hear them, but sometimes when they're listed like that, it's a nice little list. So yeah, you're not alone, and you'll hear things over and over and over in different ways. But that was one too that I frantically, as she started saying that, I was like yeah, I missed them all.
Yeah, and I threw serve in there because I thought you said serve, but whoever said it later didn't say the serve, but I had written it when she first said it. So yeah, that's good stuff.
Yep, it is. Yeah, there were a lot of good nuggets and a lot of good one-liners, as I would say, like cute stuff that helps you remember things.
It's not a financial plan.
Yes. Oh, there were so many good ones. Yeah. So, all right. So who do we have last? And I have Kimberly. I assume you're on here somewhere. We have so many people on. I love seeing all the faces. There she is. Yeah, I'm having to scroll through at the top. So Kim, whenever you're ready.
Can you hear me okay? Okay, because my earbuds wouldn't work, so I had to take those out. So I hope everyone is having a great weekend and a fabulous Sunday. When Lori asked me to keep this at 3 to 4 minutes, I was like, holy cow, I'm going to try my best. But it was so awesome and just jam-packed full of like awesome information. So I guess like my biggest struggle with my business has been mindset shift and just like perspective shift. So like whenever leaders would talk about the shift in their mindset, that kind of stuck out with me the most. And I'm going to start with the beginning of the conference, which was MVP Shelly Wilson. And she said something super simple, but it just really stuck with me. She said, you can only think one thought at a time, make it a good one. And I was like, that's so simple and so true. Like, you know, I guess have a bad habit of filling my mind with doubts and insecurities. And why waste time doing that? Like, spend more time being positive and thinking good things and positive thoughts about myself and my business. So that stuck out to me the most from her. And my second MVP that I'm going to talk about is our very own Missy Hyde. She did a phenomenal job. If you missed it, like you missed something amazing, because she just poured love into the audience, into all of us, and she was just incredible. And she gave us 5 tips, but I'm going to talk about 2 that really like resonated with me. I mean, they all did, but 2 like really stuck out with me. One of the things she said was, do not despise the days of small beginnings. And it's so easy when you're first starting out to get frustrated that you're not further along, or or people are ghosting you, or people are not texting back. But, you know, don't hate the process, love it, embrace it, and enjoy it, because the best is yet to come. And she put in perspective that every MVP on that stage, you know, they all started as a team of one. They all started just like me and just like many others. So that really stuck with me, and it just kind of helps give me a different perspective whenever I continue to grow my business. And another thing that Missy said was that success is inconvenient. And she didn't mean it in a bad way or a burden. She just kind of meant it like, you're going to have to be intentional with your time. You're going to have to make time to grow your business and be consistent and reach out and follow up. So I really loved that it's going to take me, I guess, either getting up earlier or staying up later to really work my business and fit it in every single day. I'm going to wrap it up with ENVP Eunice Ray. So if you've been in Arbonne 5 minutes, you probably know who she is, because she's amazing. She's 70 years old. She's wonderful. Like, she's very engaging and fun to watch and listen to. And I've heard this probably, I don't know, 100 times from either Lori, Missy, or Fallon, but they always tell us, you know, it's not about us. And Eunice, she said it the same thing, but just it, I guess, hit me differently. And she said that once you realize this business is not about you, your fears, or your insecurities, you know, you'll be successful and you'll make it. It's not about you. It's about how you can help and serve others, because I have seen firsthand of how this has helped many other men and women. Like, I've seen Lori and Missy get more time freedom, and Fallon get more time freedom, and they're able to, you know, be able to spend more time with their kids and their families. So I know, I've seen it, and I just have to know that we have a gift, and our goal is to share this with others and help others and to serve others life. So I want to end this by one of the last things that Eunice said, which really hit home with me, because I feel like I have tough skin, but sometimes I can be a little sensitive. And she said, don't let someone's bad attitude mess with your beautiful head. And I was like, she's so right. She's so right. Like, don't let people's negativity, judgments, like, make you lose your focus or get you off track, because you can do this and you're worth it. And it was an incredible experience. And I'm so happy that I went.
Awesome. Yes, I love that one because I was not in a place where I could write it down when she said it. And I was like, oh, that was amazing. And then twice I've seen people repeat that same phrase. So I love that one too, because it's so true. And the ongoing theme that I've heard, in our Green Bay retreat and impact is just, there's so much emphasis on mindset, and it is. And that mindset is 90% of the game, I promise you. And so I love that you guys all, and I can see, it's amazing how you can see the energy change even just being there. And impact training and any Arbonne sponsored training specifically, I feel like what that does for people and why it is so critical to make a point of getting to one of these, whether it's GTC or whether it's impact, is because if you think about it, the lens that we have in this team is only the lens of what we see right here. It's the interactions with Voxer, it's the interactions with our team and just these faces. But the culture of Arbonne is so much bigger. And I think for me, it feels like a business. And that brings me to the point that I love that, I think it was Missy Wilson, I think her first name was, she talked about stats. And she went through some very specific stats. She said, so just here's a stat for you, so those that love data like I do, $702 billion industry. That's what nutrition and weight loss is right now. And $1.8 trillion just in skincare and makeup. So make your passion a hobby, whatever you're passionate about, whether it's animals or baking or anything, make it your passion, but make your business something that is along this lines. And so when you see a business like Arbonne, and when you go and you see the success and you hear the story after story after story, you can make this, when you make this your business and you make it a priority as a business and not just a hobby, it will change your life. It will change your lifestyle. And I think that's the part that I think people get in and they think it's going to be, I heard this, and I forgot even who said it, but they just said, that they think they're going to post on social media a few times and boom, they're going to have instant success. But you have to kind of work it, and you have to plug in, you have to be on these huddles, but also you have to see the bigger picture of Arbonne. And these impact trainings are a perfect way to do that. GTC is a perfect way to do that. And so making that time as if it's your business, so that way you can have the free time and the freedom of finances for your personal passions, but you can have this business and it really will impact you greatly. Because that's the best part, is just seeing, and I think it impacts anyone the first time they see it. I always love hearing from the new folks, because they hear all the things that they've struggled with. They hear it over and over and over, the struggles with the nose, the struggles with the mindset. And that's the best part, is knowing that those people started all at the very same place with a $49 independent consultant account with a team of one, and you hear the nose and you hear the nose and you hear the nose, and the key is you don't quit. You just stick it out no matter what. And all the tools and the resources are the same, and it's just having that learning and taking all this in, because it's a lot to take in. But I love, because I can see the energy and the change even as you hear speakers as the weekend went on. And it's so much fun. Like, literally, I think I haven't laughed as hard as I did on Friday night, just all crowded around in our hotel room in our jammies. It's just a great time, because everyone on our team is amazing, because if you're not amazing, you're not going to want to be with us anyway. And so it's so fun. And every year you have new faces and new people, and everyone just meshes, because it's just a great culture. And so I just hope you guys are, make this a priority, make it your business, because it is the smartest thing you will ever do. And that's the one thing you hear over and over with speakers as well, and EMVPs, is it's the best decision they've ever made. And I can say hands down, it is the best decision from a working standpoint or financial standpoint that I've ever made in my life. So Anyways, that's all I have to share. And Missy, I think you had some things to share and wrap up tonight. So thank you guys so much for sharing. I know it's a little nerve-wracking at first, but hey, as I said, if it's hard to do, it's probably something worth doing.
That's right. That's awesome. Yeah, I'm just sitting here like bursting with like, I'm like a mom who's like, oh my gosh, I'm so proud. Because it is. I mean, just that you all were willing to share. And here's the thing, you just come to the table every week ready to engage, ready to share, whether you're leading or sharing or not. And I'm just so proud of every one of you that shared, because y'all are pretty new and that was your first impact. And I'm excited for those of you that are going to Chicago this coming weekend. I know there's some going to Sacramento. I don't know the other locations where we've got people, but I know those. And I just know that that you are going to get just as poured into as this group that went to Knoxville got poured into. And really, there were just two things that I wanted to pull out because, like was shared, there was just so much content. I think, like, we were driving home last night, Tara and I and Christy, and it was only 9 or 10 o'clock, but I was so tired. And I think I was tired because it was like just so much content was being poured into us in such a short amount of time. I think my brain was like, just trying to digest it all and take it in and sort it and store it. Because we were driving and I was like, it feels like midnight, and it was only 10 o'clock by the time we got home. But there were just a couple things that I wanted to highlight. And I did in the chat, I did write down or type in the 6 S's that Christy referred to that were from Shelley Nelson. So if you want to catch those before we end tonight, you can scroll back up in the chat and see those because they are just a great kind of outline for the basics of Arbonne. But one of the things, and I can't remember which of you, I think it was Olivia that said this, but when you learn to do Arbonne and life together, success is ensured. Because it is our tendency that when our schedule gets busy, when we don't feel good, when our finances are tight, when there's, relationships are tense, most often what I have seen in my 15 years of Arbonne is the first thing to get pushed to the side is the Arbonne business. And I will tell you that your Arbonne business is worth fighting for and pushing everything else to the side for. Not your faith and not your family, but in my opinion, this should come third. Because this is the business that creates the time and the income that will help all of those other things. And too often when those other things start to create pressure, when they start to create some stress, we push Arbonne to the side instead of realizing Arbonne is the answer. And so when you can learn to do Arbonne in the midst of holiday seasons, school, vacations, that you have meshed Arbonne and your life together when it doesn't really bother you to go on vacation and just keep doing a little bit of Arbonne at the same time, or to know I'm going to have, busy seasons with my job or busy seasons with my kids or busy seasons with school if you're a student, and you don't push Arbonne to the side in those seasons. You still keep it a top priority because like Lori said, if you treat this like a business, what she was saying, if you heard it this way or not, if you treat it like a business, it will pay you like a business. If you treat it like a hobby, it's going to cost you money and it will not give you a return and you won't build your belief in it. And those that are around you are watching, their belief won't be built either, because what you don't inspect, other people will not respect. What that means is if you don't prioritize your business, no one else is going to respect it. If you want your spouse or your mom or your sister or your best friend to respect what you're doing, you have to prioritize it. And that's part of that success being inconvenient, because success in anything, think about it, your relationships, whether you're married or in a relationship or a relationship with your parents or friends, It can be inconvenient to make them successful. A budget is inconvenient, super inconvenient, right? If you've ever tried to get out of debt or stay on a budget, you're like, this is the most inconvenient thing in my life. You know, prioritizing your health, 30 days to healthy living, as much as we all love it, it's not convenient always, right? What's convenient? Driving through McDonald's and blowing $12 on a Big Mac meal. That's convenient, but that's not leading to the success that we want. And so just understanding that you're working towards meshing Arbonne as an integral part of, as almost it does become an automated part of your life. Okay. And then the second thing, because there were so many awesome trainers, and those of you that are going to the other locations, there, many of the things that you guys heard these nuggets from, you're going to hear them repeated, because there's new MVP stories and those will change per city, but almost everything else was within the framework of that, like the concept for all impact training. So you'll see the same slides that we did. They'll be trained by different people, but you will get that same content. But there was story after story after story and trainer after trainer. And whether it was Peyton Scheibner, who's 23, she started at the age of 19, and she didn't quit Arbonne when she didn't quit school when she became an MVP. She went on to finish her nursing degree, even though she had zero intention of ever becoming a nurse. But she finished it because she wanted to finish school and she didn't want to quit. So she went through finals and she did all of those things as she was building her business. Then you have Eunice Ray, who is 70 years old. She's built this business, you know, really in some of those later years of her life. And she's got grandchildren and her own children. And she shared she has a husband who, because of his service to us in the military, he is ailing very dramatically to the place where she has had to put him in a facility. And yet she's still building her business. And Bobby Peters from Florida, as a new MVP, shared that, you know, she dealt with a sick kiddo for many, many years, and her kiddo that was struggling, it was emotional stuff. It was the self-harming stuff. It was the stuff that every parent is like, I hope I never have to go through that. And the stress caused her to lose her hair. She's wearing a wig at this point. And yet she still built this business. Lavelle Augustine, who also is from Florida, she got up and she shared, and she owns a title company. And when the real estate market went under, like she almost lost it. She kind of lost a six-figure income almost overnight. And yet she kept building her business. But what I hope you got out of every one of their stories is they kept themselves going. They didn't depend on an upline. They didn't depend on a team. They didn't depend on a sideline to keep them in their business. They decided to keep moving forward, even if it was slower than they thought, even when it was stressful, even when they didn't really see it maybe panning out the way that they wanted it to. They took responsibility for their business. And because of that, actually all four of those ladies are all executive national vice presidents with Arbonne, which means not only have they become a national vice president, but they've already helped at least one other person become a national vice president. And so I share that because here's the thing, at the end of the day, the person that is going to ensure your success is you. It's not Arbonne, it's not this team, it's not your parents, it's not your spouse, it's not your own success line, it is you. Because you might wake up one day and you might find, I'm a team of one again. And you have to decide, am I going to go do this again? Am I going to start over? Or you might find yourself in a situation where your health is suffering or there's tragedy in your life that you didn't anticipate. You decide, are you staying in this thing or not? Because at the end of the day, it is only you. It is only you. Okay? And so that's really what I wanted to just end with us on, because we can hear these nuggets and then we need to apply these nuggets. And then we need to know that we take full ownership of our business. You show up for your business every day. You don't wait for an upline. You don't wait for your sponsor. You don't wait for your team. You show up every day for your business, and what you show up in and what you bring to the table is most often what you're going to get out of it. Okay. So I just so appreciate all of you and for all the things that you guys have shared. I love you all so much. There is another MVP who recorded what I shared. And so I pretty sure I can like pull it off and make it a YouTube link and things like that, but I haven't figured that out yet. But I will do that if I can do that, and I will repost it. So for those of you that weren't there, you can hear those nuggets like Kim had talked about. So anyways, I'm so excited. If you're local in Louisville, we have our Connect and Discover this Tuesday. Bring guests, just especially all of you that were in Knoxville. You know, whenever we're hesitant to invite, it's because we're thinking more of ourselves than we're thinking of someone else. If we're fearing the rejection, if we're fearing the response, it's because we are thinking more of ourselves than we're thinking of them. And so who can you invite? Yes, let's absolutely get a ton of people to Fallon and the cruise regions. Ben's Bash coming up in 2 weeks. It's going to be amazing. And then Megan Regan's going to do an amazing job on Tuesday night for us. So plug people into that. She's going to be covering the 30 days to healthy living. So anyways, love you all so much. Thanks for hopping on. We're going to close this out for the night. So good to see you all. And thanks again, ladies, for sharing. And Lori, thanks for leading. You did awesome. All right. Good night, everybody.